Welcome to the video. If you're here today, I hope you're ready to receive something meaningful. Maybe you've got a need, something God wants to pour into you. But seriously, is this really Doug Weiss we're seeing, or maybe his father or grandfather, or is it just a stand-in? I've been reflecting a lot on Doug Weiss lately, especially after hearing Denise Boggs refer to him as a wolf in sheep's clothing. And honestly, I can't disagree. Doug has changed a lot lately. Physically, he's nearly unrecognizable. This is the same man who won a bodybuilding competition in Colorado back in 2021. Back then, he looked incredible. Energized Health even praised him for his transformation, highlighting his 62% hydration level and his youthful energy, even though he was nearly 60. At that point, he was still married to Lisa Weiss, and let's be honest, he looked fantastic. Go back and watch videos from that time. He was in peak condition, but since marrying Joni Lamb, things have shifted. Have you noticed his face? It's puffier, his eyes seem tired, and there's something off about his whole appearance. One commenter suggested maybe he's on medication, possibly multiple prescriptions, and honestly, that tracks. It's shocking to see such a drastic transformation in just a few years. What happened to the man who won fitness competitions? Meanwhile, Joni and the Daystar singers are full of energy, praising Jesus as the Son of the Most High. Doug, though, seems to be going through a transformation, and not a positive one. His appearance and demeanor raise real concerns. There's speculation among staff, too. Many have admitted that Doug made them uncomfortable, even before his marriage to Joni. Some women who worked at Daystar said they avoided him, noting how he'd often scan women from head to toe. That behavior didn't go unnoticed. It made people uneasy. After all, Doug was known for his background in sex therapy. He was the guy on Christian broadcasts talking about sex addiction and healing from sexual trauma. Even during women's conferences, most of his segments were focused on sex-related topics. Many felt his language and tone were too intense, not just for a Christian setting, but for any public setting. There are better, more respectful ways to have those discussions. But Doug didn't seem interested in that approach. And let's be real, his laugh was the subject of jokes behind the scenes. Even Joni Lamb herself reportedly used to poke fun at it. It's ironic now, considering she's his wife. Former Daystar staff like Jeanette Hawkins have opened up about how uncomfortable Doug made people. Apparently, there was a general sense among staff, especially women, to steer clear of him. Even Joni initially found him odd, yet somehow Doug, being a psychologist, managed to win her over. Despite warnings and red flags, Joni married him. Now, in hindsight, it's clear that people close to the situation are still uneasy. Even recent interactions have left some feeling unsettled. People with discernment, spiritually or emotionally, say something still doesn't feel right. Doug's appearance has shifted. His speech has changed. Maybe there's a medical issue at play, but regardless, the public transformation has been hard to ignore. And yes, there are videos circulating like that hand grab moment from a recent Daystar broadcast. The way Joni looks at him in that clip, her expression says it all. She doesn't look impressed. If anything, she looks grossed out. She's in a complicated spot. And despite trying to hold it together on camera, she can't even hide her discomfort anymore. At the end of the day, Doug Weiss may have changed, but the unease surrounding him has only grown. What that means for Daystar, Joni, and those who once admired him, only time will tell. It seems like Joni Lamb truly believed she was marrying the version of Doug Weiss that the public had long admired. The fit, confident, charismatic sex addiction expert who once captivated Christian and secular audiences alike. Back then, Doug was known for his strong presence, having even won a bodybuilding competition in Colorado. He had a reputation not just for physical strength, but also for being a man of intensity and focus. And sure, part of that was his image, someone who embodied health, vitality, and discipline. But now, what we're seeing is an almost unrecognizable version of Doug Weiss. Each time he appears on camera, he looks more puffy, more tired, more disconnected from the man he once was. His face is noticeably swollen. His eyes look clouded, dulled, and lifeless. The transformation isn't just surface level. It feels spiritual, emotional, and psychological. Let's break this down further. These video clips I'm about to talk about were taken just this past Tuesday. Both aired the same day. One features Doug on his own program and the other on Ministry Now. If you watch them side by side, it's honestly hard to believe they're the same person. In the first clip, he looks fairly normal, alert, his eyes bright, his facial structure intact. But just a few hours later on a different show, his entire appearance changes. His face appears swollen and you can hardly see the whites of his eyes. And that's not just a lighting issue, that's a health concern. I spoke to Susan about this and she agreed something is very wrong. We're not doctors, of course, but we're observant. And this change in his appearance, it's beyond just a few extra pounds after getting married. There's a sense of internal decay, a heaviness that seems to hang on him. Let's not forget, Doug Weiss was once a man who preached transformation. He helped thousands overcome sex addiction and broken relationships. He built a ministry on healing, and yet now the very same man appears to be crumbling right before our eyes. What happened? Is it the pressure? Is it medication? Could it be something more spiritual? Here's the part that really makes you think. These drastically different images of Doug Weiss aired on Daystar on the same day. This is a billion-dollar Christian network broadcasting what looks like two entirely different men just hours apart. One version looks composed and coherent. The other, disoriented, tired, almost frail. Is this really Doug Weiss? Or are we seeing someone who's aged decades in just a few years? Now, it's not unusual for people to change after marriage. We all know about the so-called newlywed pounds, but this isn't about weight. This is about his entire energy shifting. His eyes, which once held intensity, now seem vacant. His posture, once upright and strong, is now slumped. It's as if something inside of him is broken. And behind all of this is a far more complicated story. We've heard whispers, some verified, others still speculation, about what Doug was really like behind the scenes. Former Daystar employees, including Jeanette Hawkins, have spoken about how uncomfortable he made people, particularly women. Staff avoided him. Joni herself, once upon a time, joked about his laugh and called him strange. Yet somehow Doug managed to win her over. Whether it was charm, manipulation, or simply timing, Joni chose to ignore the warnings and marry him. And now she finds herself not just in a marriage, but in a very public one, under the watchful eye of a Christian network audience. Even on camera, Joni's discomfort is visible. There are clips where her facial expressions betray her inner thoughts. She looks embarrassed by his comments. She looks disillusioned, maybe even regretful. And perhaps that's the real story here, not just Doug's physical and emotional decline, but what it reveals about the state of their marriage and their leadership. What makes this even more tragic is how far Doug has fallen, not just physically, but in his role as a leader, as a therapist, and as a public figure. A man who once inspired people to heal is now triggering concern and speculation. And you know what? Maybe Lisa Weiss, his ex-wife, is the one who truly walked away free. The leaked audios revealed a side of Doug that many hadn't seen: controlling, volatile, and emotionally intense. Now she's out of the spotlight. She's out of the chaos. Doug, on the other hand, is in the thick of it. His transformation visible to everyone watching, and it's heartbreaking. If you've been following this story and want to stay updated, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Drop a like if this content resonates with you. We'll continue to uncover the truths behind the public personas and bring you more in the next video. Thanks for watching.